Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, it's that 8-8 portal. It is that 8-8 portal. And it's seeming like there's a lot going on with this energy. How have you guys been receiving it? I'm like, yeah, a lot of demonic behavior. You're not welcome here. I'm Carlos. You're not welcome here. Give me 1 second, guys. I just need to boot someone. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, my bad. You're already booted. You've been booted. Anyways, a lot of demonic type stuff has been wafting around. I don't know that it's affected everyone on like a conscious level yet. And if it affects you, it's probably going to present more as like some irritation, feeling maybe a little bit agitated. And it might be that you are simply, oh my gosh, it might be that you are simply reacting to whatever is being presented to you. So this 888 portal is something that carries quite a bit of potential for most people. And this potential is something that you need to make sure you allow yourself, yes, to explore, right? Just exploring that potential. The weaver, there's a lot of strings that are going to be cut. These strings are connections to people that have been toxic, that stay toxic towards you, towards themselves. You don't need any more of that in your life. So I think this is a perfect opportunity for you to let all of that yucky go. Okay. I told someone they weren't welcome here. This is my personal space that's publicly shared. And I absolutely have a right and an obligation to myself as well as my community to make sure that caca behavior, caca energies, people who embody that are not allowed anywhere near me. It's called boundaries and it's healthy. It's healthy. All right. So there's a lot that's going on. This is to drain as much energy as possible from you and what it is you're trying to bring to fruition. See this last card. Hold on. Let me get one more. Yeah. Okay. So you need to be intentional because there's something that's trying to oppose your energy coming up to autumn. Something doesn't want you to be able to reach a point where now you're intentionally creating opportunities, experiences where you're tapping into your power. Because of the importance of this period right now, you need to be very dedicated to what it is that you're doing. You need to be very, very focused. If you're not going to be focused, it's going to be much easier. It's going to be much, much easier for something that has malicious, malignant intentions towards you to be successful in its attempt to derail your progression. Now, whatever's happening, you need to guard yourself, guard your energy, guard your resources, guard your focus, everything. Just stay very guarded, at least through the weekend. A lot of what's going to be happening, again, it's this very desperate attempt to try and drain as much as possible from you so that you don't have enough to launch what's going to be launched very soon. I've said in previous live streams, leading up to that 8-8 portal, there's going to be an escalation in parasitic activity, parasitic attempts. And then after the portal, it's going to start to taper down. So 3 days before the day of the portal, and then 3 days after is when that gate, that space is quite dilated. So you're going to need to guard your energy for at least another 3 days. Okay. Be very, very, very careful. I don't know that you should take the stance that okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What you guys are seeing, I just saw a notification, and you guys are seeing parasitic attempt. It instantly triggered me. Can you please? Just breathe it out. Okay. So breathe it out. Gotta wusa. Gotta wusa. So you need to pay attention to what's happening. You know exactly what these things are, these events, these attempts. It might not be intentional on another person's part, but you know what that circumstance is intended to do, how it's intended to rile you up, bother you, and this and that. You are not imagining things. Something parasitic wants you to gaslight yourself into this space of assuming you are imagining. Now, don't be accusatory either. Recognize when your soul is communicating with you and letting you know some really questionable things are happening. What I'm noticing as someone who specializes in morphogenetic recalibration, recodement, parasitic extraction, is a demonologist amongst a plethora of other things that I do, services that I offer. I track this energy. Why do I track this energy? For internet clout? No, because I need to know what's happening so that I could properly advise and support my students. That's why I track this energy. What I've been seeing over the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, for some, it's even up to like 2 months, 3 months that I've been seeing this happening. It's this very much Delulu mindset of, this is happening to empower me. Yes, there are things that happen to empower you through hardship, through forcing you to choose to overcome that hardship. But there are other things that it's like, no, babe, that's a straight on disease state. That needs to be addressed. Do I say anything? No, not unless I'm asked, because that's a violation of someone's privacy. So I just keep to myself. I keep to myself. But in a public live stream like this, it's important for you guys to know there's a testing that's happening of your awareness of what you're actually going through. And if you're going to gaslight yourself into this space of thinking, oh, this is my initiation into an elevated type of existence. I don't know. I don't know. What does I don't know mean? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to make people pause long enough to be able to see for themselves without me dictating to them how to see things. I don't know how to approach that. For me, this type of existence is very cut and dry. It's very cut and dry. There's too much that's going on. Okay, let me refocus. There's too much going on. If you can't pare down, if you can't whittle away the excess, whatever this is that's trying to drain you of your potential, it's going to be prosperous. It's going to be successful in its attempts. This could be a person, this could be an energy, a circumstance, an environment, a workspace. I don't know. But there's a lot, like so much focus I'm trying to prevent those who are ready to ascend to the next part from ascending to the next part. I just got to be okay with whatever people choose for their journey. I just got to be okay with it. For those who are still in a space of struggling to find where they fit in, and so because of that very understandable insecurity, which many of us have this insecurity, right? Because of that very understandable insecurity, what ends up happening is those are the people who are going to be most vulnerable to parasitic attempts. The parasitic activity is going to ramp up through the weekend. Like hella ramp up all the way through the weekend. So you guys do with this information whatever you need to do to make sure that you remain not so easily accessed. I'm taking a step back. I've taken a step back. This is now, this is your journey. This is your journey. And you need to start making sure you're making the decisions that support your growth, not decisions that hook you into and loop you through unnecessary cycles. You know what I don't even want to say it. Carrying forward. So invocation, something is being called forward. I'm not at liberty to publicly share what's being called forward. It's very ancient. No one alive, no books, know its name. That's all I can say. It's being called forward, and it's intended to really agitate the thoughts, the emotions, and prevent manifestation, prevent you from bringing into full fruition the very things that you're trying to build for yourself. Have you noticed you're very irritated? Have you noticed you're fixating on things, details, people that really there's no problem there? There's no problem there, but you keep looking for a problem. You keep wondering, like, why am I feeling this way? There must be a problem. No, you're feeling that way because you're being absolutely fucked with by something you can't see. I wasn't supposed to say that. It is what it is. It is what it is. And for whoever that is, like, oh, she's just trying to scare everyone so you buy an extraction. Go to my website, see if you can buy an extraction from me. Go to my website and look for the extraction service. Even if you have the link to the page, go ahead and try and load one into your shopping cart and purchase it. Oh, oops, that's right. It says sold out. Why does it say sold out? Because my soul says abso-fucking-lutely not. You will not be tainted by what's happening. By the time these types of actions are being shared by me, we in some deep, well, Michael goes, what do you mean we? Y'all in some deep shit. Yeah. You're in some deep stuff. So you have to really, really pay attention to whatever it is that you're needing to pay attention to. Do you need to be afraid? I mean, I can understand if you are, but is it necessary? Not really. Not really, because you're still going to need to take the appropriate action, right? So let's see. Yep. Okay. This thing doesn't want to be stopped. Doesn't want me to share information. Wants to block manifestation. Okay. So death in reverse. All right. Death in reverse. Oops. Death. Let me put it this way. There. Death in reverse, right? So whatever it is, it was present when the web was being weaved for this matrix. Weaver. It was present. This thing is very, 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 very old. Very, very, very old. Okay. Do you guys feel that energy right now? Like a wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. You guys feel that? So what's happening? My soul is letting me know that it's time to share with you. Have you noticed I've been uncharacteristically quiet on social media? You'll see posts, but they're clips from old videos of mine. There's a reason for that. Up to date, I could take on the entirety of all the principalities by myself and I will win. I say that cocky because y'all, I know I can fucking win that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll fuck their ass up. It's no biggie to me. Send all the succubi, incubi, no biggie to me. No problem. I can handle that shit. But I mean, you said you don't do succubus, incubus extractions. Yeah, because, you know, the people who get infected with it, they have a tendency to not want to let it go. And then it becomes like an annoyance. Like, I don't want to deal with that. That's why. It's not because I can't remove it. I don't want to deal with the drama of it. So why have I been uncharacteristically quiet? You guys have heard me talk about my ribs. You guys have heard me joke around about how, you know, the people closest to me, they have these amazing, amazing gifts where they can feel the physicality shifting within them when they're presented something that's been infected with parasitic energy, parasitic consciousness. One friend's face will go numb, the other friend's face will itch, and it's like, I want a detection system too. Should have never said that. I should have shut my mouth, stayed in my lane. I have a detection system. I will dislocate ribs. Mm-hmm. So my detection system has been activated. What could possibly dislocate my rib? No principality, no pairing, no grouping, no nothing that has been known by humans through the entirety of human existence has a capacity to do something like that to me. No Draco, no nothing. So what is it? It has to be as old as the foundation of this matrix itself. So if you guys were feeling that womp, womp, womping, that's a field that I'm being surrounded by. Why? Because nothing's allowed to touch me right now. So why am I no longer doing extractions if I'm so badass? Nothing more than because my family asked me to stop. They asked me to stop. Because it's not worth the risk of my physical injuries. You have to know when you need to back up for a moment. You have to acknowledge when you're being given instruction from soul and needing to just back up for a moment. So what's happening now? They don't want me to share this information with you. Is this evidence of my weakness or any of that? Not at all. It's actually evidence of my elevated, evolved awareness and consciousness, because I don't have to prove shit. I don't have to prove anything. I know what I can do. I've told my family ribs heal. I'll be fine. But when your family feels worried, when your family feels afraid that I'm going to be laid out again for a few days, or however long, I need to start listening, and I need to start considering how it makes them feel, the work that I do. So what needs to happen here? You need to begin really allowing your progression. What does that mean? Whatever loyalties you have, whatever guilt, whatever shame you feel that's causing you to continue to hold on to old cycles, things that don't serve you, things that continue to infect your perception of yourself, those need to be let go of. This concept that you are going to save people from their own circumstance, from their own decisions, from their own behavioral patterns, thought patterns that keep them looped in whatever loop they're looping in. I've had to deny several people that I've known for quite some time that I cherish. I've had to deny them. I will not extract. I no longer offer it. And no, not just to the public. I don't offer it, period. That's what that means. Right now, I'm considering this a simple hiatus. Depends on what happens down the line. My ribs are not being dislocated from entanglements with parasitic things. It's being dislocated when I become aware I've been exposed. It's to make me aware. How unaware are you about what's going on around you? Have you been allowing yourself to be very just, I don't know, blinders on? How does that serve you? To ignore what's happening around you. And this might not be happening for everyone yet. Excuse me. Yet. There's a hybridization that took place, and this hybridization makes it possible to infiltrate all types and all layers, levels, and intensities of shielding, fencing, everything. 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 Are you aware? Timelines are collapsing and they're merging back together. The timelines that we became aware of, these alternate realities, they're a byproduct of a fragmenting that occurred a very, very, very long time ago, at a point in human history when humans were still very young. And because of that fragmenting, all of us fragmented as well. You have at least 12 alternate realities that are existing simultaneously to this one. At least 12. At least 12. You know, those times where you have these dreams that you're living a different life and you look and feel the same age you are now. You're tapping into, you're having a fragmented consciousness bleed over. You're becoming aware of that other existence. So why do you guys need to know this now? Well, as the timelines collapse, which they need to, it's bringing us back to a singular line, a singular timeline that was attempted to be destroyed by things that are just so inconvenient. So now what's happening is the correction is being felt by everyone. It does not matter what you believe. It does not matter what you practice. It does not matter your level of sensitivity. It is happening for everyone. Those things that I just mentioned, the practicing beliefs and sensitivity and all of that other stuff, that's what's going to determine how aware you are of what you are going through. That's all it does. It makes you a little bit more aware of what's happening. And I think for many people, that lack of awareness is actually a gift unto your human self. Because if you don't know, you don't feel afraid. This process cannot be stopped. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be altered. You will see the people who support this process, those who have totally bought into this convoluted matrix that we exist in. It's a reverse matrix. It's intended to pull you further and further and further from your connection with divinity in hopes that your direct cording into divinity will snap or unplug. Impossible. Impossible. Why do you know that's impossible? Unplug it. I'll wait. Unplug your cord from divinity. That's your cord, right? Unplug it. Oh, that's right. You can't even do it yourself. So what does that mean? They're not going to accidentally unplug it. That's not going to happen. But they're hoping that enough tension, enough separation prevents you from entering into a space of pure manifestation. What are we trying to manifest? What was once taken from us? That's what we're trying to manifest. With or without your awareness, that's what you're doing right now. The 888 portal has less to do with astrological stuff and more to do with the alignment of tectonic morphogenetic templates. There's an alignment that's happening, and that alignment happens every year around this point. And it's not just on the 8th. It starts 3 days before, is at the apex on the 4th day, and continues for 3 days after. That's an entire week that gate is open. So what are we going to do during this period? We're at the apex. So I'm going live later today to do expedites. Here's the link. For those of you on TikTok, you can find the link on my bio. So what is it that we need to do? You need to finally find a way to love yourself. You need to finally find a way to love yourself. You see, all this stuff that's happening, for me on a personal level, all the physical injury and the inconvenience and the setbacks and all of that, it's frustrating, but it's teaching me a very important lesson, because I'm willing to be injured to help someone else. It sucks to say that. I am. I was willing to sustain injury to be able to continue extracting other people. But what am I teaching? Nothing healthy. Nothing healthy. So what do I need to do? Love myself to understand what my proper place is in someone else's journey. Once upon a time, I was able to assist in that way. Now, maybe I need to see it more as an unrecognized way to continue to expose myself to really nasty energy Why? Maybe there's still a part of me that wants to be punished. I don't know. I don't know. But when the people you love all come to unanimous decision, no more, that has to tell you something. That has to tell you something. So we're all on a soul journey. We're all at a point where we need to really just focus on what we need to work on for ourselves, right? What is it that you do? Well, Shannon, right now I'm just talking to everyone. I'm talking about the 888 energies. What do I actually do? I'm a professor of an academy that teaches aura spectrobioregenesis. It's covered under the umbrella of the Kokoro 33 system. The Kokoro 33 system is taught by way of quantum divergent learning system. So what I teach my students is how to get to the core codes that once corrupted or distorted, they create ripples of diseased state through the different layers and levels of luminous body. I teach recodement. I teach morphogenetic template recodement. And when you're able to correct the core codes, you're then able usually to correct the symptomatic presentation that arises from that distortion. In addition to that, I talk to dead people. All my clairs are active, and you could say I do everything. It facilitates the work, makes me very efficient, and I teach my students how to do the same thing. Marla, where'd you get that sticker from? Okay, so when you recognize this is a journey, it's not about the end destination, it's about the process you're in, and the way you progress through that is highly contingent on the options that you choose and the way your options, selected options. 88 at 333, hold on. Love it. Hold on, let me. Oh my God. I have all these notifications. They're messing up my screenshot. Oh my Lord. Okay, there we go. Love it. Okay, 70%, 88333. So 7 is completion, bringing you to a point of reunification. Those 2 8s is 2 consciousness coming together for all of infinity. These are your 2 primary fragments. When consciousness became fragmented because of that, what would we call it? That event horizon. That's what pulled everything apart, right? That's too much info. I don't have that much time. Progression. Sorry. I still got to teach class tonight before the live stream. I don't have time like that. So progression. You need to make sure everything you choose helps you to progress. See how this looks like? Light is kind of finding its way through little pockets, the spaces. That's what you need to do. You need to find the little spaces that will allow your light back in, that will allow your awareness of what it is you're trying to accomplish back in. Okay. So soul separation. There's some people and some things you need to just like completely remove yourself from. Oh, hi, Lindsay. Lindsay says, if you'd like to learn, Emmy will be having a morphogenetic fundamental workshop. Yes, let me put that on the screen. The thing that I'm like, oh, if you go to k33academy.com and then you go to the store and you click on the certification, level 1 certification, I finally finished the application process. That's what I've been so busy with. I finally finished the application process. So for those who have been privately messaging, asking how they can be part of my academy, just go to k33academy.com. The Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop is a prerequisite. That's where I teach the fundamentals of the system that I teach. So for those who are like, well, what system is that? Is that Reiki? No, ma'am, stop. Don't say that to me. I'm serious. Don't talk that way to me. Please stop. No, I don't teach Reiki. I've never learned Reiki. What I teach is from my memories. So you could say I'm a natural born, whatever the heck I am. Yeah. So everything that I teach, it kind of contradicts what is taught in spiritual circles. You got to take my program to find out the depth of how much we've been lied to and how those lies have accelerated the molecular compaction that makes it that much more difficult for you to access your true gift and purpose. It's an intense thing, but you know it's worth it. So self-sabotage, don't do it. That's it. I'm serious. Self-sabotage, don't do it. It's very simple. Don't do it. But no. No. Anyone who truly loves you, I mean, truly and genuinely loves you, doesn't love you because of what they can gain from you, what they think they can get because of their proximity to you. I've had to learn this over the years, you guys. Someone who truly loves you will never, ever, ever ask you or even allow you to sabotage yourself, even on account of them. Nope, they won't. They will not. So whatever you're thinking of doing to prove your love, your friendship, whatever it is, it's up to you. It's up to you. But if you were to ask me what would I do? No, I will not. I will not. No. Okay. So new dimensions and awakening gnosis. There's a secondary. So, okay. I do this because this is a lot of information that I'm going to need to give you to preface these two cards. What happened was a type of mitosis over the last 8-ish months or so, maybe even close to a year. There was a spiritual mitosis that was initiated. And when I say spiritual, I don't mean like your belief structures. Maybe the better term rather than spiritual would be bioelectric magnetism was polarized. So you have the biology of it because it's housed in the physicality of flesh, and then you have the electromagnetic aspect of it. So this was polarized within the body, causing a separation of quite a few different things. Now, that mitosis that was initiated went ahead and charged, then amplified those two opposing schools of thought. So now there's a huge separation that's occurring over the span of almost a year. What happens when that happens? A phantom matrix gets created. I know. This is too much info. It's too much. But stick with me. So once that phantom matrix is created, you have those who are ego-based and they're like, we're gonna, this and that, and we're gonna make people wake up and we're gonna blah, blah, blah. You stay in your own fucking matrix. Us peaceful people are over here like, okay, everyone's gonna need to decide for themselves. Let me just kind of recalibrate. Let me be aware of how I'm functioning during this period. Let me be aware of the ways in which my presence, my existence affects my environment, because I always want to be just, mindful. Excuse me. Yes, the cards are for everyone. We just want to be mindful, right? We're existing in a space of mindfulness, consideration, and care. We have zero desire to compete, compare, dominate, any of those things. We have no desire for that. Why? Because these are the traits of those whose nautical complexes have actually ejected yet another cord into divinity. We are rising very quickly. Very, very, very quickly. It is not It is not a surprise to me that my ribs are not dislocating from the front from my sternum. They're dislocating from the back. Why? Because the points of dislocation are right there from my nodular complex. Your girl ain't fucking dumb. I know what they're doing. They're trying to get me into a space where I want to compete, compare, dominate, intimidate, to prove that I have a right to be here. I don't give a shit. You live your life. It's okay. You don't like me? That's okay. I'm serious. That's okay. So you don't like me, Anne? What does that do? It stresses you out, not me. Why? Why you? Because you're the one that keeps coming on here and watching me. That's why it stresses you out. See, when I don't like something, I leave it alone. My life continues. So am I stressed? I know you'd like me to say yes, but I'm not. I'm not. My energy is strictly for creating the different types of potential and peace that's in alignment with a life that I want to live. I have no interest in other things at all. So that attempt to kind of rip out my nodular complex, that attempt to prevent me from living a heart-centered life, right? Heart-centered life. One where I genuinely care. That's not going to work. And for those who are on this side of that mitosis, because remember, these are the ones that are operating within the density, they are very, very heavily committed to that fallen patriarchy system of competition, comparison, dominion. That's all fucking demon words. Those things are part of demonic modus operandi. I'm just saying. It is. It is. So those who are here, we're kind of just like living life. We're trying to find ways to better understand some of the decisions that we've made in the past, how they still echo and reverberate in our present, and how we can modulate that frequency resonance for future events, meaning the learning can continue through to the future. The empowerment and the healing potential can continue through to the future with us. But all of the distortion, it's being capped back, like a cap is being put on it. So with that, once that mitosis reaches a certain point, those consciousness that choose a more densified existence, notice how I'm not saying wrong, a more densified existence, they were gifted a phantom matrix. So we're kind of like facing each other. There's a mirror, but the mirror goes two ways. So depending on which angle you stand, which angle you view yourself, you can see yourself. But if you shift, you can see how maybe what you're seeing is that lower density type behavior. So they don't want you to be aware of this. They don't. I've never really cared what they want. Like they could suck a hairy donkey ball sack for all I care. Whatever. Do whatever you want. I'm not bothered. I'm not. And if you can exist in that space where you can simply just allow yourself to recognize, oh, okay, that's what that's about. Okay, I got it. Then what can happen is you can enter into a space of tremendous abundance. Woo! Tremendous, tremendous, tremendous abundance. What are you guys ready for? What are you waiting for? What are you ready for? What are you going to allow? Because everything starts from you. Everything. If you're going to choose to continue to see yourself as being victimized, you go right ahead. I'm not going to tell you not to. That's a choice, and I respect your choices. If you're going to choose to see, like, oh, damn, that was because I let it. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to do that again. Then you know what happens? You don't experience that again. I think that's powerful. I think that's very, very powerful. So, okay. So here goes. Okay, guys. I'm going to be live later today. I'm so sorry, TikTok. Y'all keep shaking. Are you scared? I'm joking. I know you're not scared. I'm going to be doing the Lionsgate expedites for tonight. There's quite a few really, really intense expedites in there. I know someone close to me was talking, they were asking me about one of the, it's the Aura Spectra cymatic something something. Hold on, let me find it. I feel like I'm sweating or something. Okay, let's see. Where are you? It's not the Codes of Aquari. No, it's not that. Aura Spectra Bioregenesis Advanced Etherocymatic Activation. You done with joking around and not doing the things you need to do, and those distortions getting the best of you and causing you to cycle back down, waste your energy, prevent yourself from manifesting? It's that activation that corrects it. The Aura Spectra Bioregenesis Cymatic Activation. It's towards the bottom. It's towards the bottom. You guys have to finally decide for yourselves what you actually want out of this life. This is not the precursor to the next part. Like, we've begun the next part of our journey already. It doesn't matter your age. We've begun the next part of the journey. We've crossed a threshold. And if you're going to allow yourself to try and clamber back over, climb that wall and go right back to where you were, and by all means, use the door. It's much easier. I'm so serious. Someone's like, oh shit. I'm serious. Decide whatever you want. But to me, it's not a big deal. Decide whatever you want, but just know whatever you decide, you are the one that's going to be living through that experience. So what does that mean? Choose things that you know will make you happy. That life of obligatory existence, it's gone. If you try and hold on to it, mark my words, it's 47 minutes, 55 seconds. If you want to rewatch it on YouTube, 47 minutes, 55 seconds. If you do that, if you bind yourself to that old space you've already exited, at least over the last couple of weeks, every opportunity that you try and make happen will fail. And you will continue to backslide into a space of such unhappiness, and you won't be able to undo it. And then you'll say it was my fault. And you'll say, because Emmy said, no, I'm here to tell you, you fucking decided that. So decide something else. Wow, just decide something else. Decide something else. Choose something else for yourself. But I mean, can you guarantee? And I think that's the problem. People want a guarantee. They want a guarantee. Nothing in life is ever guaranteed. And I think that's the adventure of it all. I think that's the reason why life is so beautiful. You can change the trajectory of your journey at any given point. You just have to choose it and commit to that decision. Shannon, did anything significant happen in April of 2023? This is when my nervous system collapsed. So if you'd like me to assess your nervous system, which I'm highly well-versed in all things CNS, that's one of my subspecialties. I specialize in cardiothoracic matters as well as central nervous system type matters. I would highly encourage you to join me for the live stream tonight. I'm going to be live at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right after class. And then I also do etheric medi-evals. With the etheric medi-eval, I have the ability to go ahead and access your morphogenetic template from afar. I don't have to see your picture. I don't have to know your full name. All I need to know is you exist. And once I do that, I can go ahead and see what needs to be corrected. It's not uncommon, although I can't guarantee any result. It's not uncommon for people's circumstance to either greatly improve or completely halt once we do the etheric medi-eval. So I don't know if you were the one that asked me what it is I actually do. One of my most highly developed gifts is I'm a medical intuitive. So as part of my history, I'm Asian. So I was groomed to become a doctor since childhood, early childhood. And part of my goal in my young adulthood was actually to become a cardiothoracic surgeon with a secondary specialty in neurosurgery and neurology. So those are my interests. Turns out that I don't need to finish medical school, which I opted not to. And I just went ahead and started doing this. This is something I've done my whole life, but now I've organized it in such a way where there are services, sessions, expedites, and then also I teach. So all of these things are things that I was just born knowing. I'm joining. Is there a particular I need for the Lionsgate event? I would encourage you, Jenna, to choose whatever you are drawn to. So even if you don't know what the service name means, and there's a description in the listing, even if you don't know what it means, if you're drawn to it, that's probably your higher self encouraging you to get that service done. So everything I do is in alignment with and respectful of the higher self. I never contradict what your higher self tells me you need. So if you choose something, and it's rare, but if you choose something that you don't actually need, I will let you know and I will tell you what's more appropriate, and we just switch it out for whatever it is. So there's minimum to no risk of any of that. I got to get going, guys. I got to prepare for class. I got to record three meditations. I better quit messing around. I love you guys. I will see you again 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight across all my platforms. We're going to be closing out the fire ceremony portion soon, because before I record this stuff, I got to do all that. I can't be breathing in smoke, you guys. I'm delicate. I'm serious. I'm delicate. So I can't do the fire ceremony in my tiny office. I gotta do it outside. So I'll see you guys.